Those who are joining late, please help them out with the page numbers. Accounting and cost. So what is cost? Okay. So cost is an amount that has to be paid up or given up in order to get something. You want something, you have to give something back. So whatever you're giving up, okay, or whatever you're paying, that becomes the cost. And it's not necessarily always money. Okay. Cost comes in different formats as well. Like the effort that you have took in exchange to get something, that effort is a cost. Materials that you have given up to get something or to make something, that's a cost. Resources that you have given up or given, okay, or paid. Time, your time that you have given, okay, the utilities that has been consumed by you to get something, okay, the risk that you have took, risk incurred to you, risk that you have took, that also becomes a cost. Opportunity that you have forgone to get something done, okay, what you let go of, the opportunity that you let go of to get something done, that is also a cost. So these are the definitions of cost. They are not always money. Cost is not always money. Okay. So there are three different types of cost in finance. So one is the accounting cost, you have the economic cost and the opportunity cost. So what is accounting cost? So accounting cost are the actual or outlay cost that point out the amount of expenditure that has been incurred on a particular process or on production. As such, accounting costs facilitate for managing the taxation need and profitability of the firm, which means the cost of the cost is the value of the money that you have used up to produce something or to give some service, okay, and that is not available anymore for you. You have given it up, it is not going to come back, okay. Like you are buying a land to build something, okay. So when you buy a land, you give up money, okay, you pay the money, that money is not going to come back to you, okay, that becomes an accounting cost. So whatever money value that you have given up or whatever it has cost you, okay, to take an action, to do something, to buy something, to get a process done, to get an entire organization standing up and running, okay, whatever money you have given up, that becomes the accounting cost. And they are the explicit costs that are involved in business. For example, if a company wants to open a satellite office in a new market, the company has to make investment, okay, the company have to hire people, they have to spend salary, they have to buy computers, they have to buy furnitures, okay, they have to buy a shop or a space of work, they have to lease it out or buy it or rent it, okay, software, rent, inventory, electricity, okay, these all things, they have to spend money to get things done, that becomes the accounting cost, okay. So again, there are different types of cost in accounting: direct, fixed, indirect, variable, okay. So what are direct cost? So direct cost is the cost that is related to produce a good or a service, okay, it is a material cost, labor, expense, distribution cost to produce something, okay, that is called direct cost, that are directly involved in bringing up your product to market, okay. For example, you want to open a sari shop, okay, uh, the money that you have spent on rent or to lease out a shop, okay, the money that you have spent to get the sari, the money that you have spent to give uh, weavers the money, okay. 1 minute. Is my screen visible? Okay. So that are the direct cost, okay? The wages that you have paid, the money that you have spent on furnitures, okay? The salaries that you give, the cost of the resources, the raw materials that you have brought, equipments, the capital investments that you have done, machineries that you have bought, okay? That all comes under direct cost. It is not going to come back to you. The money that you have spent here, the salaries that you have given to your staff, okay, it will not never come back to you. Okay, these are direct cost. Indirect cost is like it's not directly it's not directly meant into your product or service. For example, electricity bill, water bill, okay, travel expenses, petrol bill, okay, warehouse with bills, warehouse cost, okay, that all come under indirect cost. It is not involved. This money is not involved directly involved in whatever product or service that you are giving, okay, but indirectly it is costing you, okay. For example, if you are running a hospital, hospital runs on electricity, okay. Electricity is not treating your patients, but you need electricity to run other equipments, okay. So electricity bill you have to pay, water bill you have to pay, petrol bills you are paying for ambulance services and other vehicle services, okay. Food bill you are paying, you're giving money to vegetable vendors, fruit vendors, okay, wholesalers who are selling you vegetables and kitchen items, okay. You're spending money there. So these vegetables and fruits are not curing your patients, but indirectly they are involved in running your hospital. Okay, so that is indirect cost. So fixed cost. Fixed cost means every time you have to pay the same amount. Okay, like rent. Every month you will give the same amount. It's not that in January you gave 50,000, in February you will give 30,000. No, rent every month a fixed amount is there that you have to pay. EMIs you have to pay. Okay, salaries, it is a fixed amount that you're paying. Insurance, again a fixed amount you're paying. Okay, uh, deposit that you have given, it's a fixed amount. Marketing expenses, fixed amount, okay. So the amount every time periodically you are giving this money, but the amount does not change, okay. Periodically you're giving, but the amount does not change. That becomes fixed cost, okay. Variable cost, from the name itself, it varies, it's not fixed, okay. Electricity bill, for example, one for 1 month it may be 50,000, the other month it may be 45,000. Every time you will not get the same electricity bill, slightly it is different. Water bill, slightly different, okay. Income tax, every year it is different. Labor charges, labor charges change every time, okay. Usually it increases, labor charge usually increases every time. Other miscellaneous expenses, inflation, anything that is related to inflation, that gets affected by inflation, okay, that is variable cost. So these are the different types of cost. Is it clear to all the meaning of all these different types of cost? With example, some examples are given in the textbook, you can check that as well. Then you have the operating cost, day-to-day operations, okay. Every department will be given some petty cash, okay. Petty cash is also an operating cost, okay. Every department, if you have a birthday celebration or something get over, file got over, notebook got over, pencils got over, okay, you have to buy some stationaries, office supplies for your department, okay. Some petty cash is always given to the head of the department, so you will just go to the head of the department, they will give you some money, you will buy it for your office, okay. Every time you don't have to go to the top management to tell them give us 100 rupees, 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, we have to buy this supplies. These petty cashes are accounting is done. So that is operating expense, okay? Telephone expense, internet charges, travel expenses, legal expenses. So day-to-day activities that you have to run in the hospital. In ambulance department, daily whatever money the drivers are getting for petrol, okay, that also becomes an operating cost. Okay. So, so these are operating costs on like day-to-day business activities. Could be fixed, it could be variable as well. Maintaining the inventory is an operating cost. AC repair has to be done. This repair has to be done. You have to call somebody. You have to give them money. Okay, it becomes an operating cost. Then we have economic cost. So goods need to be taken into consideration. Example, money, time, resources. Okay. Comparison. This comparison includes gains and losses. Okay. All the of profit that you have made, revenue that you have collected, but out of which how much losses are there, how much expenses are there. When you calculate all this, it becomes an economic cost. Okay. It also includes opportunity cost. We will see what is opportunity cost shortly. Accounting cost, whatever expenses, explicit cost has been has happened, expenses that have happened, okay, that will be tallied. Whatever you are making, okay, whatever revenue you are collecting, whatever billing you are doing, okay, they all come under economic cost. Coming to opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is the benefit you miss when you make a choice. Example, how do you spend your money? Okay, you have options. 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Some technical issue is there. Am I audible now? Okay. So opportunity cost, you have options to spend money. You have money, you have options to spend money. But you can take only one option. The other option you have to let go. Okay. So you are in a way taking a risk of selecting one option and letting something else go. So allowing something else to go, okay, not using it, not using that option, allowing something else to go, so, allowing an option to or let going an option, okay, that is also a cost. That cost is called opportunity cost. Okay. So you have 100 rupees. You can either buy a sneaker, option one, or you can invest this, option two. But whatever you have to do in this 100 rupees. Okay. So if you spend on sneaker, you buy something, you are spending the entire 100 rupees as it is. But if you are investing it, if you're investing that 100 rupees at 5%, you will get more 5 rupees. So the difference between these two options are 5 rupees. So 5 rupees is your opportunity cost. If you go with option 1, okay, you are letting go of the opportunity to save this 5 rupees, to invest 100 rupees at 5% and get 105 rupees out of it. Okay. So you are letting go of the opportunity to gain that 5 rupees. So that is a cost. That is a cost that is incurred to you. So opportunity cost is the cost of letting go. Okay. So it can be used in various circumstances. How can be it used? First is, the best uses of a dollar or a rupees is either you can buy new products. Okay, you want to buy something, or if you want to replace something. Okay, replace on an old equipment, buy a new equipment, or should you just do the repair work and use it as it is? You are making a choice. Okay, you have money, you have two choices: either do the repair work of the existing equipment, or throw the existing equipment and buy a completely new equipment. Okay, the choice is yours. How do you want to spend your money? So analyzing certain things will allow you to make use of the opportunity cost in a better way. Okay, pay dividends. Okay, best uses of your money, best use of your time can be done using opportunity cost. So this is another example. You have two alternatives. One alternative is something that you chose. The other alternative is that something you let go of. Okay. So the alternative that you let go of is 40,000 rupees, and the alternative that you chose is 30,000, 35,000. The difference between both is just 5,000. So 5,000 is the opportunity cost here. Some money difference will be definitely there between two options. Okay. So in one option it could be slightly expensive, one could be slightly cheaper. What is the price difference between these two options? That becomes your opportunity cost. Next is return on investment. Return of investment means you have invested your money somewhere. Okay. But what are you getting back out of that investment? How do you calculate it? This is the formula. So the numerator is net profit. Net profit means what? Revenue that you have collected minus all the expenses. Okay. The money that you are getting, but you have to take care of the expenses that has incurred. Whatever investment you have done, or whatever expenses or cost of investment that had happened, okay, you have to minus it from the revenue. So you, what you get is net profit. Net profit means gain from the investment, or revenue from the investment minus cost of investment. So whatever remains is your profit, net profit. Okay. Denominator is cost of investment. Whatever money you have spent, okay, to get a product done, or to get a service. Okay. to make a service possible or to get a product done, whatever money you have spent is the cost of investment multiplied by 100. So this is what you get as a return of investment. This is the formula for calculating the return of investment. It should not be in minus. It should not be less than 1. Okay. So if anything is more than 1, or if it is in positive, whatever answer you get here is positive, and it is more than 1, means you are getting some return out of your investment. So still here, is it clear to everyone? Different types of cost, return of investment. Is it clear to all? Next is profit center. So profit center is a branch or division in your company that is accounted on its standard under basis, which means it has its own revenue. For example, laboratory department, radiography department, okay, physiotherapy department. These all are profit centers because they collect their own revenue. They can have their own billing done. Okay. So it is responsible for generating its own results, its own earnings. Okay. And managers who all are managing the profit centers or are the head of the departments of the profit centers, they have more decision making authority. Major decisions for the department they can take on their own. Okay, related to what price they have to put, what expenses should be there, what should be the money they should charge from the patients. Okay, these decisions can be made by the managers who are managing, or the head of the departments who are managing the profit centers. So examples, doctors are the profit center of the hospital because they bring new patients, they bring more revenue. Surgeons who are performing surgeries, they bring higher revenue because surgery is definitely costlier than general OPD visits. Okay. Marketing team who does tie-ups with insurance companies and increases the patient flow. Okay. All the marketing, because you don't invest much in marketing department, but they bring whatever tie-ups they do, whatever decisions they make, marketing department, they bring more revenue to the organization. So marketing team is also a profit center. Okay. Cost center, so they don't directly add any profit. They can indirectly give you profit, but directly they don't have any profit. They don't have their own billing. Okay, whatever services they are giving or products they are giving, it is not part of the main bill that you bill the patient, or main bill that you account for. Okay, so that is the cost center. They can contribute to the company's profitability indirectly. Okay, and through its actions, it is responsible for its actions, it is responsible for its side role that it plays in the hospital. Okay, but they don't have the major decision making authority. Okay, so human resource department, HR department is a cost center. Administrative, all the administrative departments like IT, finance, maintenance department, fire and safety departments, biotechnology department. Okay, they all are administrative departments. They are cost centers. Nursing department as well. Okay, it's a cost center. Research and development department, because you have to put money into this department. Okay, to do research for knowledge bases. Okay, your gains are not much in terms of money out of the research and development department. It's more in terms of experience and knowledge. So these are the cost centers. So investment center is the top management. They will decide where investments have to be done, what capital have to be spent, where capital purchases has to be done. That is decided by the investment center. Profit centers, they are middle managements, okay? Middle level managements. So they have more decision making, but not as high as the highest level of management. Middle managers or head of the departments of profit centers, they have better decision making, more decision making authority as compared to operative level managers. Then revenue center means wherever money is collected from the patients or from wherever you spend money, sell your service or wherever you sell the product. Okay, wherever money is collected, that becomes the revenue center. And cost center as well. They all come under the operational management or of supervision. So that's about the accounting cost, accounting topic. If you have any queries, please mention in the chat box. So today we will do the topic on a few topics together regarding physical structures, quality standards in physical structures. Page number 77 onwards in your quality control management textbook. So physical structures. First is the quality standards of prevention and control of infection. So the goal of an organization here for the infection prevention control is to identify and to reduce or eliminate the risk of acquiring transmitting infection among patients. Patients should not get new information. Patients should not transmit the existing infection to staff, healthcare practitioner, other patients, contract workers, volunteers, students, visitors, community, whoever is in or around the hospital should not get transmitted, should not get any new infection from the patients. In addition to this, developing hospital-wide initiatives and also to develop initiatives like antibiotic stewardship program. Okay, that also becomes an essential component of infection prevention and control. So coming to the quality standards here, the first is the responsibility. One or more individuals should always oversee all the infection prevention control activities which is taking place at the hospital. And these individuals who are supposed to oversee the ICM activities, they should undergo proper education training. They should have an experience and certification as well, okay, to be an infection control officer who oversees all this. Designated coordination mechanism is put in place between the infection prevention control activities, which involves doctors, nurses, all the clinical practitioners, okay, based on the size and complexity of the hospital. Everyone here is involved in infection control and prevention. Coming to the resources, applicable laws, current guideline standards has to be followed. Wherever PPE has to be put based on standard precautions, on transmission-based precaution, PPE has to be used. And hospital leadership also have to provide resources to support infection control and prevention programs within the hospital. Leadership support should be there. Coming to the goals of infection control and prevention program, the hospital designs, implements a comprehensive infection control program that identifies the procedures, process associated with the risk of infection and implement strategies to reduce the infection risk. So first identify what are the risk of infection, who all are the patients who are at the risk of getting infection. Specifically, for example, all the patients who are admitted in high risk areas like ICU, burns unit, okay, operation theater, emergency department, they all are high risk patients, okay, so they definitely will have higher they definitely have require specific processes which will prevent infection here. Hospital also uses a risk-based approach in establishing the focus of healthcare associated infection. So whoever is at higher risk will be monitored more. surveillance will be done. And the hospital also has to track the infection risk, infection rates on a monthly basis, trends in healthcare associated infection, which department has the highest, which month do you see the highest infection rates. Okay, so all these trends has to be noted down. Coming to the medical equipment and devices and supplies used. So to reduce the risk of infection associated with medical surgical equipment, devices and supply, make sure that the hospital has a proper policy regarding the cleaning, sterilization, disinfection, storage, and management of all the equipments, body classification of the equipments, okay, has to be done. Hospital identifies and implements a process for managing the reuse of the single-use devices as well. Like all the single-use devices should not be reused at all. So the hospital should have a policy put in place that nobody else, that ensures that nobody uses single-use devices or equipments for more than one use. Infectious waste. Reduce the risk of infection through proper disposal of waste, segregation of waste. On top of that, safe handling and disposal of sharps and needles is also required. Reduce the risk of infections associated with proper operations and of food services as well. Like from kitchen department, dietary department, food poisoning should not spread. Construction risk. During construction also, the risk of infection is quite high. So make sure that your hospital has a mechanical and engineering control during any demolition, renovation, new construction when it is taking place. All the engineering and mechanical controls should be put into place that will reduce the spread of infection. Transmission of infections. There are direct transmission, droplet-based transmission, airborne-based transmission. So make sure you use proper barrier techniques, barrier precautions in each of these cases. Isolation rooms are provided. Isolation procedures should be followed. A process to manage sudden influx of patients with airborne infection. Whenever there is a negative pressure rooms are not available, how do you create a negative pressure room on your own using exhaust system? Gloves, mask, eye protection, other protective equipment, soap for hand washing, disinfectants. Okay, all these things should be always made available in the hospital and it should be used correctly wherever it is supposed to be used. Then quality improvement program education. All the infection prevention and control processes are integrated. With the hospital's overall program for quality control management, quality improvement, and patient safety. Measures also are put into place. Also, hospital provides education on infection prevention and control practices to staff, physicians, patients, family, and other caregivers as well. Coming to the medical equipment, devices, and supply, all the medical equipments used for patient care should definitely undergo sterilization, cleaning, disinfection as and when required. Okay. Any procedures that involve the contact of any medical or surgical equipment, devices, or supplies, okay, that has the risk of introducing pathogens into the patient, they should make sure that it is under the proper policies. Cleaning, sterilization, disinfection is done. So low level disinfection, it means for like stethoscope, blood glucose meters, sphygmomanometers, any non-invasive equipment, that touches the patient's body, but not the mucous membrane. Okay, they can undergo low-level disinfection using spirit, alcohol, okay, soaps, etc. Any wipes, alcohol wipes. High-level disinfection is used if sterilization is not possible in case of any flexible endoscope, laryngoscope, because these are heat sensitive. They cannot take high level of temperature, pressure, or moisture. Then sterilization of medical surgical supplies and other invasive devices are also done. There are different methods of sterilization: moist heat method, dry heat method, ethylene oxide, radiation. Okay. Based on the material which can withstand high temperatures, autoclave can be done, hot air oven can be put across. Okay. If it is heat sensitive, ethylene oxide can be can be the next option. Plasmas can be the another option. Storage after cleaning and sterilization. Make sure it is stored properly in designated storage stored areas. It should be clean, dry, protected from dust, moisture, temperature. Sterile supplies should be stored separately from clean supply. Expiration date should be available on all the materials that have undergone sterilization. As long as the packaging is intact, you can consider the supplies as sterile. And if the packaging is broken, okay, and if even if it does not look soiled, it has to be considered as unsterile. Coming to the policies during demolition, construction, and renovation. So these are the during construction risk. Engineering controls like positive pressure ventilation system, biological hood in laboratories, thermostats on refrigerators, water heaters. Okay, these should be put into place. Anywhere within the hospital where demolition or construction is taking place, major infection control risk develops. Okay, either due to dust, debris, noise, vibration, other hazards. New people, construction workers coming to do the demolition work, they may carry some diseases. Okay. So all these things may impact the hospital's overall health. So pre-constructed construction risk assessment is done in the hospital. So this will usually include air quality. When the risk assessment is done, air quality is checked within the hospital before the construction and after construction. So you will understand how much dust, debris, or pollution the construction has created. Infection control should be put into place. Are you having a proper infection control policies which has been followed as well, or not? Check that before going for demolition or construction. Utilities, if at all anything breaks during the construction or demolition, what is the plan B? Noise prevention as much as possible. Do you have soundproofing system? Have you separated the inpatients who require complete rest away from the construction site? So this has to be checked. Check that vibration does not affect between these many meters or this many distance. If whatever vibration takes place during demolition or construction, is it affecting the, will it affect the patient who are resting or not? Hazardous materials used during construction, make sure no hazardous materials are used. Flammable materials used should be handled with care. Emergency services during demolition or construction, which route has to be used, through which the passage emergency services can be reached, has to be informed. Other hazards that affect the aftercare treatment and services. which may include any outbreak during the demolition or construction. So that becomes a hazard. So these are the risk assessment that has to be done before construction, demolition, or renovation takes place. Control of infection by transmission by air, page number 85 onwards. So basically, when the hospital is providing any barrier precautions like mask, gown, apron, eye shields, head caps, okay, goggles, okay, you are using barrier precautions, okay, and isolation procedures also when it is put in place, negative pressure, positive pressure, okay, these are put into place so that you can protect the patients, visitors, and staff as well from any communicable diseases, and also protects the people who are immunocompromised from getting the diseases from other patients. So, to manage sudden influx of patients with any airborne infection, negative pressure rooms, when it is not available, what can you do? What a hospital can do? Okay. So, airborne infection control isolation rooms has to be put. Okay. It can prevent the transmission of infectious agents and which can remain suspended in air. So, prefer to place the patient with airborne infection in negative pressure room away from all the other patients. The hospital can also construct a temporary negative pressure room. You just have to put an exhaust system when airborne infection is needed, isolation is needed. And when you do not have sufficient isolation room, temporary setup can be done. HEPA filters should be put into place. HEPA filter means high efficient particulate air filtration system. It discharges all the bad air to the outside and clean air will only be circulated inside using HEPA filters. So these are the three main categories, four main areas through which you can control the infection transmission by air. And patients whom you know that they are suspected of contagious diseases, they should be isolated and they should be kept kept away from other patients. Patients who have communicable diseases are also separated from other patients and staff. Negative pressure rooms are monitored routinely and are made sure that it is available for infectious patients who require isolation. When these rooms are not available, when negative pressure rooms are not available, temporary setup has to be done using the guidelines. And hospital also has to develop and implement processes to manage the patients with airborne infections for short periods of time. When the negative pressure rooms are not available, what else you can do? You have to definitely manage them. And also when there is an outbreak in the community or within the hospital, when there is a sudden influx of patients, how to manage it, policies and procedures should be there. Staffs are also they are taught well in terms of management of infectious patients. And when there is a sudden influx of lot of patients during outbreaks, cleaning the infectious rooms during patients' hospitalization and after discharge, complete fumigation has to be done according to guidelines, infection control guidelines. And staff also have to be given education about infection prevention and control to all the staff who come in patient care, all the professionals whenever they start to work in the hospital. Through ongoing education or training can be given when there is an emerging trends in infection prevention control, whatever new laws or guidelines CDC or WHO has passed, always you have to make sure that your staff are also upgraded to the new knowledge. Hospital provides education about infection prevention and control to patients and family, not just to staff. Findings and trends from quality improvement activities are also communicated to all the staff. So they are aware of when are the months when you have high influx of patients, infectious patients, high influx of hospital acquired infections. when you have the lowest number of cases, which department has the lowest number of cases, what you can learn from that department. Okay, this information should be disseminated to all the staffs who are working within the hospital. So for today, we will only do this much of the physical structure. The remaining second part of physical structure we will do next week. So far, if you have any queries regarding the four main topics which we have discussed, please mention in the chat box.